Before we get started, the way that we do things here at BCSG, we start everything that we do with a word of prayer. So can I have Pastor Louis Ramos come up from the Storehouse Church and offer our invocation?
God bless you all. If you can just bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this awesome, beautiful morning in Chicago. It's a blessing. It's going to be a great one, and we get to be part of history today. Thank you for the opportunity to be here together with community leaders, pastors, and just awesome people ready to make a difference for our city, for our youth. We pray for our gathering. We pray it would be beneficial for all of us, and more importantly, Lord, that you would protect this opportunity, this awesome event that's coming to Chicago, and that thousands and thousands of kids and youth all over the city will be inspired. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Ramos. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Damon Smith, and I'm the Communications Director of the Chicago HBCU Hardwood Classic. We just want to say, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming this morning to be a part of this wonderful and historic event. Thank you so much. Before we get started with a whole lot of our program today, I have to bring up the first person to speak, the man who created this opportunity, the man who created this series, the man who thought of this being a great idea, an excellent idea for the city of Chicago, Brother Prentice Hill, founder and president of BCSG LLC.
Thank you, David, for those kind words. First of all, I would just like to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules this morning to come out to this press conference. This press conference is significant in many ways. Today we're making history. We're pledging a commitment to our community, and we're making sure that we create the new generation or next generation of future leaders through these activities and programs. And so we're just delighted to talk to you this morning about the Chicago HBCU Hardwood Classic Series. Many of you are familiar with the Chicago Football Classic, and it has a long-standing tradition and legacy here in the Chicago market. We felt like HBCU basketball, because Chicago is a basketball town, has a place here in Chicago. And not only as a sport, we feel like there are so many things that we can do to give back to the community, to support the community, support our youth, support our HBCU alumni and the initiatives that they have going, as well as engage our seniors in participating in these activities and events. So we have something for everybody. A lot of people ask me, well, how did you come up with this idea? It's ironic that we asked that question simply because I got my start in college sports right here at Chicago State. Very thankful for the opportunity that I received here at Chicago State and working in their athletics department. Under the administration that was here at the time, President Watson, I learned and had the opportunity to better understand college sports, what it provided and what it was missing for both predominantly black institutions as well as historically black colleges and universities. And so with that information, with that knowledge, I decided to start my own company, BCSG, which is an Illinois limited liability company. What we do is we create sports properties, we do marketing promotions, focusing on historically black colleges and universities. If you can better understand how black college athletics work, black college sports is funded or financed through the general fund of an institution. So basically what that means is it is heavily subsidized through the general budget. So if you can imagine a D1 HBCU athletic program having a budget of about $10 or $11 million being subsidized about 60 to 70%, you're talking about anywhere from $6 to $7 million coming from that general budget. Okay? Because of that model, if student enrollment drops, athletic budget is going to drop, thus not allowing that athletic department to be self-sustained. And so what we do at BCSG is try to create opportunities and partnerships not only with the athletic department, but the corporate partners and the community stakeholders to create a self-sustaining business model. If we're successful, take that back. When we're successful, because we're confident we can make this happen through the people in this room and the other stakeholders in our community. When we make this happen, we then can divert that $6, $7, $8 million back to the general budget to be used for capital improvement projects, scholarships that will help our students in the Chicago market be able to get an education and become productive citizens in our community. And we'll talk further about that. We have some friends here with us from Central State, one of the participating institutions that are going to tell you their story and how participating in the Chicago Football Classic has helped their institution grow their institution and sustain their institution. And so we have Central State as a mainstay in the Windy City Hardwood Classic. We started the Windy City Hardwood Classic a year ago. We had 4 teams participating. We had a humble beginning at the Kroc Center on the south side of Chicago. We had like a couple of months to put that event together. But we were inspired by the support of the community, the participation of the schools and their alumni, and Tuskegee, Miles, Harris-Stowe State, and Wilburforce made up the teams that participated in the first Windy City Hardwood Classic. Because of that event, we felt like there was an opportunity to do a series of HBCU Classics. And so thus we created the Chicago HBCU Hardwood Classic Series. This year in the Windy City Hardwood Classic, which is November 14th, here at Chicago State University, we have Dillard University versus Paul Quinn in our first game. We have Wilburforce versus Kentucky State in our second game. And we have Harris-Stowe State versus Central State in our third game. We'll come back December 12th for the HBCU Legends Hardwood Classic. This classic is designed to feature Division I NCAA HBCUs. This year we have Grambling State versus Tennessee State. And we're very excited about our matchup coming the following year. Right now we're in negotiations with FAMU and a couple other schools to add to that slate. We'll come back in January 16th and 17th, and we will actually have participating in that event Stillman versus Morehouse, Clark Atlanta versus Albany State, and Harris-Stowe State again versus Governor State. So we're excited about bringing 12 HBCUs to the Chicago market to promote their brands, their institution, in hopes of having students see HBCUs as a viable option for higher education. And with your support, we can make this dream a reality. So thank you for coming this morning. I turn it back over to Damon, and we'll continue with our program. Thank you.
As you can tell, we have a lot of great things coming up, but we need the support of the community. We need the churches, we need the fraternities, the sororities, the nonprofits, the organizations, the schools, the media, to all come out and support and promote and market these events. These events are all about giving an athletic and academic destination to so many of our children who don't know what they're going to do after they graduate from high school. And HBCUs offer a very quality education, and they also have a myriad of athletic programs that our students could participate in. And so in our negotiations with the community, with our branding, with our marketing, we were able to find someone to support us, to be an ambassador of sorts, to help us talk to the Chicago area about the Hardwood Classic Series. Now, this particular individual did not attend an HBCU, but he is Chicago. He is Chicago, Illinois. This young man played high school at Martin Luther King High. Won championships, state championships in 1986 and 1987. Was the first person to be named tournament most valuable player 2 consecutive years in a row. Named Mr. Basketball in 1986. Was a Sports Illustrated, Parade Magazine, and USA Today #1 ranked high school player in the country. Selected as a member of the Big Ten freshman team and star leader of that great Flying Illini squad of 1989 that reached the NCAA tournament. Had an extensive career in the NBA with the Denver Nuggets and Detroit Pistons, as well as played in Puerto Rico, Japan, Turkey, the Philippines, Sweden, Dominican Republic, Chile, and France. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you and introduce to you a partner of the HBCU Hardwood Classic Series, Mr. Marcus Liberty.
said enough. So, how everybody doing today? Good, good, good. It's an honor to be a part of this. I'm from Chicago, and when I got the phone call that he was going to bring black historical colleges here to Chicago, I was very excited. And I said, I would want to be a part of that. In any way I can help, through my resources or coaches or friends and family that I know here in town to support this event, because I think what's missing a lot of times, and including when I was growing up, I didn't even know anything about black colleges. All I saw on television was your Dukes, your North Carolinas, and your Kentuckys. But then I did my research. A lot of great black, successful business people come out of black historical colleges. Just to name a few. Sean Puffy Combs, one of the best entertainers in our society. Earl the Pearl Monroe, basketball player. Great basketball players, but you don't see it on television, so you don't know. So I'm excited that they're going to bring it here to Chicago so these young kids can see that it is an opportunity for us to grow, not just going up the road to the University of Illinois or Chicago State, just like right here, or University of Kentucky's and your Dukes, but you can go to a Morehouse. You can go to an Albany. You can go to Jackson State. So with that being said, bringing it here to Chicago, I think is the first big step, and I think we're gonna get a lot of support from our communities, and as well as the coaches because a lot of times I think when you look at the black colleges, they budget is not big enough, especially the smaller schools, to come out and recruit those big time athletes. But it's other athletes, the mid-major athletes, not just like Jabari Parker, for instance, I'm just gonna say his name, Anthony Davis. They probably wouldn't consider those type of universities, but the guy that's his partner may consider going to a black college. Such as, I had a couple of guys that came from my school, King High School. My point guard at the time, he ended up going to Mississippi State Valley to play basketball. So they were recruiting, but a lot of times people still didn't know and understand what the black college was all about, because of the situations of the televisions, what the things you see on television. Excuse me for bending down too, because it's so small. It's not. Yeah. Much. Perfect. Because I don't like to. Mama didn't raise me to slouch over like that, so I try to stand up strong. And, I kind of wish my mom could be here today too to see this too and hear, because my mom is originally from Mississippi. I think most people from Chicago are either from Mississippi or Memphis somewhere. So my mom was from Mississippi. My dad was from Mississippi. So like I said, I got ecstatic when he gave me the phone call, when I got the phone call to be here today. So I told him, I said, whatever I need to do to raise money to help and be a part of this cause, man, I'm all in, because people do recognize who I am, and I'm humbled enough to understand that basketball gave me avenues to get to and touch people. So I would like to use my stardom, if I can, to make things happen and make it possible for this event to be a huge success, and not just a success, but a huge success. And I think we can do it if we all stick together and be at one. So if you guys stick together and and try to raise this money so these colleges can come in here and recruit our kids and keep these kids off the streets. And I understand, because when I grew up in the projects, so I understand what it takes. It takes a community. If I didn't have my family and my friends raising me and telling me what's right and wrong, what's right for wrong, I wouldn't be here today either, probably. So I had somebody in my community raising me that way, and we got to get back to that. I know we don't have the projects, anymore. They tore them down, but at the same time, we got to find some place where these kids can go and understand and get some leadership. And I told them I want to be a part of that as well. I love kids, and I just don't want to see another 9-year-old shot in the alley because of this senseless violence. Right? Guns are in the wrong hands, and it's sad to see some mom burying their child. And my mom always told me, she said, we shouldn't have to bury our child. You know, our child should have to bury us. So I look at it as a positive thing that we're about to do, and let's make it happen, people. Let's do it. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, man. I'm all in. I'm not gonna put one foot in and leave the one out. I'm all into this, and I think if we can get the Jabari Parkers and Derrick Rose, who these young kids look up to, it'll even be even huge. So if we can support each other, be happy for one another, don't look down on one another, and just get this thing right. And because we beautiful people. We beautiful people, and we got to understand that. We are beautiful inside out. So let's make this happen. Thank you, and I enjoy it, and I can't wait to the game. I can't wait to see people that I've missed and I haven't seen in a long, very, very long time, and I'm excited. Thank you, guys.
You know, growing up in Chicago, you had some choices to make. You were either a Celtics fan or a Lakers fan, and you were also either a Simeon fan or a King fan, because you did not miss those games growing up. So Marcus, we thank you so much for your support. We thank you so much for being here. We thank you for you committing to being here inside and out of the program. Next up, we have Mr. Joseph Price, head coach of basketball at Central State University. As the communications director of the Chicago Football Classic, I've had the pleasure of working with Central State for the last couple of years. And they've been a very good partner to the Chicago Football Classic. And now as the communications director for the Chicago HBCU Hardwood Classic, I'm very proud to have another relationship with Central State University out of Wilburforce, Ohio. So coming to you at this time is the head coach of their basketball program, Brother Joseph Price.
What a great morning this is, to see everybody here for this outstanding event. Just first and foremost, want to give you greetings from our president, Dr. Cynthia Jackson Hammond, and first gentleman, Dr. Hammond. We're very excited to be here for this event to represent Central State University, and we're just looking forward to the opportunity, and we're very appreciative that Mr. Hill has called upon us to be a part of this terrific event. And it's very, very beneficial for us because we do a lot of recruiting in this area. And Chicagoland is one of our target areas where students can come to Central State University and get out-of-state waivers. So that's very huge benefit for the students here who may not know Cook County gets out-of-state waiver to attend Central State University. And we're very excited about that. We have a huge alumni chapter here, and they're all excited about we coming to this event, and my players are extremely excited. We're fortunate to have three very, very talented young men. One is a senior, Anthony Chester, who went to Percy Julian High School. He's a 3.5 GPA student. He's my highest thank you. He's our highest, he has the highest GPA on our team. He's the type of kid that you would want your daughter to marry. And we're just so excited about Anthony. He was a walk-on at Central State, and first 2 years he didn't make the team, and upon my arrival, we ended up giving an opportunity, and this kid is just so excited. He's fulfilling his dream, and that's what we're about at Central State. We also have two other young men, Tom Johnson, who was city champ with Bogan High School, MVP. He's doing extremely well. He's also a 3.5 GPA student, engineering major, mechanical engineering. And he's just doing extremely well, and we're really excited to have him aboard. And then also, Martin Oliver, who's from Hyde Park. And Martin is doing extremely great job thus far and really adapting to the Division I level. And Coach Holmes, Kevin Holmes, former player from DePaul University, and he's my assistant who recruited these young men, and he's our recruiting coach for the Chicagoland area. So I'm really thankful that he tapped into the Chicago area and landed the last two young men. We're very excited. We were looking forward to this event. We're planning to bring a couple busloads of students to the event as well. Our athletic director is, you know, as Jason said, this all started because we were here for the football classic last year. And with the fact that this is one of our recruiting targeted areas, we wanted to make sure that we were able to bring our basketball program to this area. And as we continue to build our program, continue to recruit this fine area, and continue to land a lot of the Chicago's finest to come down to Central State University. We know we have a tough game ahead of us with Harris-Stowe State. Coach Williams coming there from Xavier University. He's done an outstanding job down there in Xavier, and this will be his first year. We know that he's going to have a transition building the program, but his pedigree is already spoken for. He's won 5 or so golf course championships down there at Xavier University down in Louisiana. So we're really excited about the opportunity to compete, and that's one thing that we're excited to be a part of this whole event. A couple of our other rivals are also in this event in Wilburforce University, who's situated right across the street, and they're our big sister, and we're happy that they're able to be a part of this. And actually, they're the ones who kind of spoke with Coach Futrell, who spoke great things about Mr. Hill and the event you guys had last year, and they're excited about being here as well as our rival Kentucky State. And we think that it's an opportunity for HBCUs to represent in a full day of basketball and a full day of events, and you have the different things going on the Friday previously. It's a time to celebrate. And this day of time, as Marcus was just speaking about, we're losing a lot of our young folk out here on the streets. We need to help them understand that education is the way, and it's the way out, and the smartest way out. And we all need, the whole Chicagoland area, and even over in Indiana, which is where I'm from, the Gary, Indiana area, we need folk to come out and support this. This is serious business, folks. This is serious business, because every day we're losing our kids, and we need to help them understand they can get a great opportunity to go into a HBCU and continue their education. And athletics is a springboard to help them see that vision and understand it. So please, talk to everyone in the churches, talk to everyone in your communities, at the community centers, to come on out and support this event. It's just a great vision that Mr. Hill has. But, you know, like we said in the old days, it takes a village to raise a child. But that's what we're trying to do, folks. And we just need to support Mr. Hill in this event and all his staff. And Jason, we're looking forward to working with you. And we recruit throughout our programs, our track, our band, our football. We all, you know, Central State is very much involved in Chicagoland area. So we just want to thank you, and hope that we look forward to seeing everybody here. And I also want to give a warm welcoming to this event from our athletic director, Jahan Cobreth. And also, we feel that this is a great situation, and because of his dream, that we feel this is a great opportunity. We've come on board to sign a couple years. So we look forward to being here, continues for the next few years. Thank you very much.
Again, got to shrink it down a little bit. Going forward, who's ever been to a homecoming? Who's been to a homecoming? Okay, so you all know what homecoming looks like. When you go down to homecoming, is it just about the football game? No, it's not. There are a series of events that are taking place to get everyone excited about coming back to their school. We have the exact same model. These are not just basketball games. We have events and activities for the entire family. So let me just run down right quick. And there are schedule sheets on the table there. You can take them if you don't have one on your way out. We're not going to close up yet. We got a couple more people to speak. But I just want to run it down to you. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 4th, is the tip-off reception we're having at Ravens Place. Everyone is invited to come out. It is 21 and up. It is at 13031 Southwestern in Blue Island. 13031 Southwestern. It starts at 7 o'clock and it goes until we decide to go home. But it's all about networking and having fun and getting excited. On Saturday, November 7th, we have the HBCU basketball clinic for our kids. Come out and learn some basketball skills, shooting, dribbling, ball handling, passing, etc. from HBCU's coaches and professionals. That's going to take place at Percy L. Julian High School, 10330 South Elizabeth. On Wednesday, the 11th, again, we're going back to Ravens Place, kicking off the week of the events for the schools. All right, so all the alumni groups and fraternities and sororities are coming out on the 11th, and that particular night is hosted by the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha and the gentlemen brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha. So we're going to share the love and spread the love amongst the Greeks starting on the 11th. On Friday the 13th, instead of bad luck, we're going to have some good luck and have some fun going to Jokes and Notes at 4641 South King Drive. There are two shows, the 8:30 show and the 10:30 show. Tickets will be $20. But if you get a ticket to the comedy show, you are automatically entered to win a trip to a faraway destination. And you can get a game ticket for half price. So there's a lot in that going to that show and going to the comedy show. So you can purchase all these tickets here online. Then after the party, after the show, there's a after party. We're going to Baseline at 2239 South Michigan Avenue, starting around 8 o'clock for those who are going to the 8:30 show. For the after party for the comedy show. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to step back. The comedy show is hosted by Chicago's own B. Cole. Okay, so we're not shortchanging you at all here. We're bringing you some really great events. And then on Saturday, November 14th, the Windy City Hardwood Classic tips off at 1 o'clock. The first session, Dillard University out of New Orleans, Louisiana, will take on Paul Quinn College right outside of Dallas, Texas. Then Wilburforce University immediately follows, playing Kentucky State. And then closing the night out at 7 p.m. is Harris-Stowe State University out of St. Louis, Missouri, playing Central State University out of Wilburforce, Ohio. And of course, after all the games have been played and you think you're exhausted, we're coming back with the final Windy City Hardwood Classic after party for the entire city. It'll be at Society Nightclub, 2201 West Walnut. So we have events for everyone across the city of Chicago. This is not the South Side, this is not the West Side. This is about our kids. This is about our kids seeing African Americans and other minorities as coaches, as officials, as players, as team operators, as media personalities and broadcasting personnel, as reporters. They get to see this, because not all of our kids will be athletically gifted. I'm sorry, I was not. But my dad said, you're going to college. And so I saw black men and black women going to college growing up, so I knew that's what I was going to do. And then I found one who said, I think I want to do what that one does. So I got to find out what that one did, and now I'm doing it. That's what this is really all about, exposing our kids to an academic and athletic destination for their future. And we're hoping that you'll be a great part of that. And speaking of being a part of that, we have some community partners who are part of our activities as well. Is there a Pastor Chris Harris? Is he in the building? Pastor Chris Harris, come on up. He's representing a great organization, Safe Haven.
Good morning, everybody. I want to ask all of the Safe Haven site pastors and leaders, would you come up and stand with me right along with this. Safe Haven staff are also welcome to come up with us. Y'all come on, give them a hand. These are people who serve our young people on a constant basis. Look at how many folks are in the room who serve our kids all of the time. Come on, both sides. Squeeze on in. On in. Would you give all of these Chicago leaders a great hand? My name is Pastor Chris Harris of the Bright Star Church and founder of Bright Star Community Outreach in Chicago's Bronzeville community. Bright Star is proud to be a Chicago Public Schools safe haven site, one of more than 200 sites across Chicago. These pastors deserve another hand for that. Our site at Bright Star, we Monday through Friday serve more than 100 children in our after-school program as a safe haven site. Recently, when Mr. Erwin Prentice Hill visited my office and shared with me his creation of the HBCU Classic, I had one question for him. Did you do it to make money, or was this created to empower young people? While I have no problem with both being a priority, he convinced me that he wanted to bring positivity and hope to a Chicago that suffers from so much violence. We both shared the same sentiment, and all of these individuals up here with me share that sentiment, that while youth programs are absolutely necessary to empower youth, education is still the best violence prevention strategy that ever has been. Using the ever-attractive sport of basketball to get elementary and high school students to see HBCU athletes compete while empowering themselves scholastically is simply brilliant. What CPS students at these games will see are not just sports figures, but more importantly, individuals who look like them, who have decided to take their pursuit for academic and advancement to the next level. I am very proud that our leader of the Safe Haven program, Pastor Ronaldo Cowles, and his entire staff decided to partner with this very important effort. This is even more proof that the Safe Haven program of CPS not only partners with local churches, but also other entities that are wise enough to use out-of-the-box strategies to provide young people positive images of a preferred future. I say today, on behalf of all of these individuals standing right along with me, every Safe Haven site, Pastor Kyles and Mr. Hill, congratulations on showing all of us what collaboration and college goals look like. Thank you so much.
Let's give them another round of applause. We have a couple of more community partners here in the building. If I can ask Miss Clara Hubbard to come up from VON's Senior Talk. Oh, excuse me, madam. Miss Clara Hubbard from Senior Talk.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Clara Hubbard, host of Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard on WBGX AM 1570. We are a resource and information show for seniors, caregivers, and as we call our seniors, they are always people getting better with age. I have been doing this program for 4 years. I am happy to be alumnus of Southern University Baton Rouge, and we are here today because I had the pleasure of having Mr. Erwin Hill on my radio program on Monday. And we have decided it's now to take the leap and bring the intergenerational piece with this HBCU. So what I am here today to do is two things. One, my radio program, we serve seniors, and we also have a group for youth. And what we're doing now is through a good friend, Brian Fess Smith, we have a project called Project Connect. So what we're doing, we're bringing the youth and the seniors together and giving them the experience that black college lifestyle is a good thing, and more importantly, having the conversations that they can seek beyond their high school years. But more importantly, right now, I am hosting an event on tomorrow, and Mr. Hill will be there, and we're offering discount tickets to seniors on my website. And more importantly, I believe in this product because when I lost my mother when I was in high school, I went to an HBCU and have the best of friendships that brought me to where I am today. I learned that now I can live out my own personal dream with the great connections and prayers of many people who have brought me here today, and my good friend Damon Smith. We've been friends for a great while. But more importantly, we're here because on BGX, we are a gospel station, so those who are in ministry, I would love to work with you. One of the things our community has done is we've left out the seniors. They're the ones that are coming out, they're getting up early in the morning, and they are not being recognized as the vehicles that still hold our country together. So, of course, my speech is very short, but what we have done already to take the leap is we've started promoting this on my radio show, seniortalk.webs.com. We also have a newsletter that goes out to over 7,000 communities every Wednesday. So on tomorrow, Mr. Prentice Hill and some of the group will be at our event at the Oakwood Shores Senior Site on 37th and Cottage Grove, and we want to show them some love and invite them. One of the things seniors tell me is we're never given an invitation. Nobody ever asked us what we would like to do. So I have become the granddaughter in the community, and I am someone that makes myself available at all costs, at all times to them. And I want to thank my good girlfriend Tiffany for just saying, you know what, Claire, this may be a good outlet for you. And we're partners in healthcare where we work, which look where it brought us today. And it is my plan, along with the HBCU and this great Hardwood Classic, to take it nationwide. Wherever you go, I can make connections for seniors all across the country. Because people are asking in Minnesota and Mississippi and Rockford, Illinois, is this program here? And there are a lot of people who remember and know the strength of HBCUs and what it has done for them. So it is my pleasure to serve with you. And of course, my name is Senior Talk with Clara Hubbard, 1570 AM, WBGX, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 AM. God bless.
Thank you, Clara. One other partner is in the building, and he's going to beat me up for bringing him up here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Y'all just have to keep the cameras rolling so there's a witness. Mr. Jerry Carpenter, Brother Jerry Carpenter from the Xi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, is here to talk about a little bit where the money goes. This is not all about generating revenue. We are providing some great services, and I'm going to let him talk about it, some great gifts and doing great service with this event that will be very beneficial to the community. Brother Carpenter.
Thank you very much, Damon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jerry Carpenter, and I represent not only Xi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, but I represent part of the board that put this together last year. And we did it on such a kind of shoestring budget. We did it in literally about 8 weeks, and we got it together, and we had a great time. This year, we're doing it with a lot more time, but I think it's important to note that as much as we're trying to look for helping the kids, we're also making it a point to give scholarship money back. So this is not just a revenue generating process where we do nothing else but make money. We actually give money to the Thurgood Marshall Fund for scholarships, and part of Xi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, we give money to scholarship funds. So what we do is we have a huge fashion show, we combine it with this and that, we've got a whole bunch of dollars that we come through, so that each year we give about 18 to 25 scholarships to young people going up. Not going to say that these scholarships are worth $30 million or something, but the scholarships are at least a couple $1,000s. And I think that's important. So as much as we're going to have fun, it's important to make sure we're going to get back. So wanted to simply say that. Again, that's Jerry Carpenter, Alpha Phi Alpha. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Just to let you know, this is a shameless plug. We are still looking for other community partners, other organizations. If you want to do tickets on consignments and use them as a fundraiser, we have those kind of opportunities. Sponsorship opportunities, partnership opportunities are available to you. And as we are closing up, I would like to have the entire BCSG team come on up. I want you to see the gentleman and the team that has put this event together. I want you to see all the hard workers who are making this event happen over the next 3 months. And I want you to notice something in particular. When they say what black men can't do, when they say that we can't do anything, when they say we don't do well in school, I want you to look around. These young men, inspired by Mr. Hill, have come together to create this series of events, not just one basketball game in a little YMCA gym. We're talking NCAA and NAIA, major colleges and universities playing at a major D1 institution over a period of 3 months. We are talking 12 HBCU teams coming to Chicago to play basketball for us. So I want you to see the team. I want you to meet the team. I want each of the team members to introduce themselves and just tell the people what it is that you do for Mr. Hill, and then we'll close up and open it up for questions. Don't be shy now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mark Hubbard. I'm the Director of Operations, Day-to-Day Operations for Mr. Hill and BCSG.
Good morning, / afternoon, whatever you want to call it. My name is Twan Smith. I'm Project Manager for BCSG, Tuskegee University.
Good morning. My name is Samuel Jar Tafera. I'm also a Tennessee State alumni. I'm the Director of Corporate Relations. And this has been when I say a roller coaster ride, I'm very, very impressed with Mr. Hill and his staff did last year. And I came on board because it's giving back to the community. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Didn't have any family up here, and 16 years later, I see somebody I went to college with to see him doing exceptional well things. So please come out and support. We're bringing it not just to Chicago, we're expanding this out to Memphis, Dallas, Birmingham, and New Orleans. So please support. Thank you.
How y'all doing? I'm Rodney Perry from Jackson, Tennessee, and I'm an alum of Clark Atlanta University, and I'm serving as the social media coordinator for the BCSG.
Good morning, all. Reggie Ayers. I am assistant to the Director of Operations.
Prentice Hill, guess I came up with this great idea. But I just want to point out, graduated from Tennessee State University with y'all. I will leave that story for another time. Clark Atlanta, graduate school MBA program. But I'm just excited about this opportunity, the partnership with Safe Haven. I think you should give yourselves a round of applause. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Let It Fly Performance, Harris Chicken and Ribs, Edible Arrangements, Tony Thetford Law, the participating institutions, Grambling State, Tennessee State, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, Albany State, Stillman, Governor State, Harris-Stowe State, Wilburforce, Kentucky State, Paul Quinn, Dillard, and am I leaving one out? Central State. How could I forget Central State? And I'm so excited about Central State's participation. I wish Mr. Colbreth was here. I met him about a year ago, and I was just so inspired by the Central State story. Their participation in the Chicago Football Classic is one of the inspirations that I drew from in putting this event together. The event was always designed to involve Central State. When you work in college sports, scheduling is one of those challenging situations, and sometimes events don't turn out the way you plan for them, but if you're patient, in time that will happen. And so we're excited about Central State having that brand, especially coming from the South. Born and raised Birmingham, Alabama. HBCUs are mainly concentrated in the South, but living in Chicago, I was happy to learn more about the HBCUs in the Midwest. And I just want to give shout out to Lincoln University, Harris-Stowe State, Wilburforce, Central State. Those are the HBCUs, and we're going to add Kentucky State to that mix. We're going to make them a hybrid Midwest, Southern region HBCU. But these institutions over the years have educated and produced some great professionals, great people, great leaders. And we want to get back to that. There was a time where these institutions were synonymous. We were sending students to these institutions by the truckloads. And we're going to get back to that, not just African American. These institutions have diversified their enrollment, just as an institution like Chicago State has. So we're promoting higher education. Some of my staff graduated from predominantly white institutions. We're not caught up in HBCU versus a predominantly white. We're the talented 10th. And so we all have a role and responsibility as educated African Americans and people of color to give back to our community. not just in the black community, but the community of Chicago. And so that's what we're empowered to do. As you can see from the staff that is represented by Safe Haven, it's a melting pot, and I like melting pots. And so we're inspired to go out into the Chicago community and be of service and make some change. I was talking to Mr. Liberty this morning. People say we're going to join the fight against violence. We want to make sure we choose the right connotation. So we want to be part of momentum of change. We want to promote peace in our communities. And so that's what we're empowered to do. We started yesterday actually looking at ways on how we can impact the situations that are taking place in our community. So together, a friend of mine at HBCU Alliance, I want to shout out Craig Smith. Craig Smith is come on up, Craig, come on up. Come on. Craig is actually part of our team. Craig, you want to talk about HBCU Alliance real quick, and so we can get that commercial in.
Good afternoon. This was a shock right here. Actually, my name is Craig Smith. I'm a 1997 graduate of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, another historically black college and institution that I love and many of us in this room love. We had the vision as a team starting in Atlanta to create something called the HBCU Alliance. There's something in Atlanta, there's something in DC where all of the local HBCU alumni chapters are under one umbrella with the common goal of fundraising, scholarships, saving our community, and informing our kids that HBCUs are still relevant and impactful in their lives and communities. We come about as a team of maybe 30 alumni associations right now today, with the newest addition being Mr. Prentice from Tennessee State and Jara and some others. But again, this is a great platform for us to really talk about where our HBCUs can be, where we can go. We can be Duke, we can be U of I. If our kids just realize that there's a golden opportunity there and we can build it up through athletics, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. So yeah, we're working and collaborating with many organizations. We would be here all afternoon if I went down that list, but that's what our organization is about. In one of the meetings at HBCU Alliance, alum from, I think, Southern University, and I'm pretty sure you all heard this cliche before, but teamwork makes the dream work. And so that's what we're about at BCSG. We're about teamwork. As Mr. Liberty said, let's all of us work together. Let's all say we're all in, and we can make this dream a reality and help our community at the same time. So thank you for our sponsors. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We're going to go ahead and take any questions that you may have at this time. I like this press conference, no questions. Okay. Oh yeah, so this weekend, this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. we have the Youth Basketball Clinic. Brian, would you come up please? Is Brian? Coach Brian Parker. Oh, the one question? Okay. Coach Brian Parker is going to facilitate our HBCU Youth Basketball Clinic that would take place at Percy Julian. That's part of our partnership with Network 13 of Chicago Public Schools. Ms. Brown, would you come forward? So several of our outreach initiatives we're piloting in Network 13, and we are just thankful for the opportunity to be working with Dr. Sappho and Ms. Brown and Network 13 to pilot some of these programs. So you can expect these programs to be expanded over the next several months. And would you like to say something?
I would just like to say that I thank God that this is happening. And again, on behalf of Dr. Sappho in the Chicago Public Schools, I want to thank Prentice for his vision and the idea of looking over at Johnny Coleman Academy and picking Network 13 as his group of schools to work with. We support you.
Thank you, thank you. So we have one question. Yes.
Yes, my question is, I'm excited about this. I'm from the Cleo Center. My name is Aretha McCullough. Our pastor, Tori Barrett, could not be here, but I'm in the place. I am the director of operations there. My question is, this event is exciting, and I'm wondering, is there any way to link this after this event to keep the children involved with your organization? And how do you do that?
Okay, the answer to your question is yes. And I can tell you last year we did the youth basketball clinic and parents enjoyed the event. And I was disheartened because at the end of the event, it's like, well, do you have any more activities and events going on after this? And we were like, No, we don't. And so what we're looking at doing that's a evolving answer to that question. We are definitely looking at continuing. So what we did this year, because we have 3 events, we spread them over 3 months versus having 1 event, and we had a bunch of activities and events going on that 1 month. So right now, we have expanded to about 3 months. So for our outreach, we're doing the Youth Basketball Clinic in association with the First Classic. Between the First and Second Classic, we're going to do a Junior Achievement Program and a program for our special needs population in the Chicago Public School District. For the December Classic, we're going to do a College and Career Discovery Fair. And then in January, we're going to do a Youth Leadership. The event in January is surrounding Martin Luther King weekend, and so we're going to take that opportunity to do a Youth Leadership Institute. But any organizations that we don't believe in reinventing the wheel, and it's funny, Pastor Barrett, his wife attended Tennessee State, my wife, they both played tennis together. And so we've been supporting the Clio Center and their fundraiser for years. So anything that we can do to partner and continue activities throughout the year, that's what we look to do. Because you all have basketball goals. Marcus, their basketball goes in the parking lot of the Clio Center, so that might be an opportunity for us.
Yes.
Any more questions? Coach Price?
One of the things that most colleges do, for example, this weekend we have a college preview day, and in Central State we have 1,800 kids who's coming from all over, Chicago, Detroit, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, coming all over the country, Midwest, to see the school, find out all the information they need to do with the parents. So if you have kids, you know, every institution has college preview day, and you can arrange with alumni from all over the institutions where maybe they can, you know, have a bus or transportation to filter all the kids to the campuses. So that's another way that you can kind of keep kids fueled, go on the campuses, parents go with them so they can really identify and understand what's really going on at our HBCU institutions.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, and that's why I love Central State so much. I almost want to get a degree from Central State. But Central State is very active, as you can see through Coach Price, and he coaches basketball. But I think they give an orientation and train their staff to everyone is promoting and marketing that institution at every given opportunity. So in working with schools like Central State, we definitely will create a calendar of activities and events and have that probably on our website so that these opportunities can be made readily accessible and communicated to the general public. But any of those opportunities we'd love to support, and we have to put $5, $10 together, put it in a hat, and get a bus, get these students up to, because there's a bus company right here on 95th Street, black-owned, I'm pretty sure, that support black-owned businesses and make this thing happen. Let's get students to these institutions because the exposure is what they need.
The ages for the clinic, what are the ages for the clinic?
Ages 3 to 17. Yeah, let Coach talk about it.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I really have no age limit. So last year, there's a film done. Last year, we had a young man that was 2 years old. And he's one of the features. I don't know if we can somehow tie that in, but he was able to dribble 2 balls. And so I've been doing clinics here in Chicago for the last 17 years. And so I wanted to address that question too, because you asked about what other things are going on for the youth, and actually I kind of stand here with somewhat of a heavy heart because I've heard about the child that lost his life yesterday, and he was going to a park that I played in, that many of my friends played. I grew up in that neighborhood, and it's just right down the street from my mom's house. And so what we do is we do clinics all year round. In fact, the clinic is scheduled to go from 9 to 12, and I'll be leaving that, going over to the Park District at Robichaud Park, and I will invite anyone that wants to come to continue. We go to Robichaud Park, which is right on 95th and Eggleston, 92nd and Eggleston, from 1 to 3. And so the clinics that I do are year round. I do a fall, a winter, a spring clinic, and we also have a summer camp. Okay? But there are no age limits, and so if you would like to bring some gym shoes and some shorts, you can get on the train as well.
I'm going to leave that to my youth.
And just to piggyback on on Brian's comments. Our heart goes out to that family. We have a cap of 250 for the camp, but as many young people as we can get to the event, we'll go over to 250. We just want to get young people involved in activities and programs so that if they're under our supervision, we can minimize some of this, hopefully to eradicate it. So that's our goal and objective with these outreach for our youth. Make sure we have structured programs going year round. And we have some ideas that we're in the development stages of that we're going to target. Some of the youth, they're headed in the right direction, but it's the ones that's not headed in the direction. You know, we want to direct and focus some resources on the person that pulled the trigger. Because they need, I mean, I lost a line brother when I was in college. A young man in high school. Wanted to see what it felt like to shoot up a home. So it's not just happening in Chicago. It happened right there in Nashville. Here recently, there have been some incidents at Miles College, Tennessee State University. So it's happening everywhere. And if we don't get involved, this is just going to continue to happen. So we want to catch those students and focus. Because working in Chicago public schools for a couple of years, I've learned a few things. If you show these young people with the challenges some love, some care, and some attention, they have a better opportunity of being just as productive as any of the others. And so that's what we got to focus on. It's going to be a hard job. Somebody has to do it. So we're committed. As you can see, I didn't plan for it like this, but we have a team of brothers. We definitely have some resources and support from our female counterparts, and we're here today to make this thing work together. So anything we can do, any suggestions, ideas that you have, feel free. Let us know.
Since it's kind of an HBCU type organization, I was just letting one of you know that Rainbow Push, I'm the lead photographer for Rainbow Push, and we do have an HBCU tour that takes the children to the HBCU colleges. I would suggest if any of the students want to know about the HBCU tour from Rainbow Push, you can just go over there and call over there, and they have. I know we're going to Texas we're going to Texas, we're going to Atlanta, the Clark Atlanta places, Morehouse, and a few other colleges. So if you got some kids that's thinking about wanting to see what it's like to see an HBCU tour, or HBCU college, then Rainbow Push is one place that's having the 16th through the 23rd of April.
Thank you.
Another one of the organizations, our teams go on Saturday mornings while they're in town over to Rainbow Push, eat breakfast, and some of them take in the broadcast. So another organization that we partner with. Any more questions?
Yes, I did want to make a comment now that we're talking about it. One of the key things for getting seniors out specifically is going to be the transportation piece, because that's lacking in their community. So if we can start on that as early as today, I have some hours, we can make the contacts, and I have a few companies that I would like to submit so we can get them to have an incentive to come and have the experience.
And before we wrap up, I just want, when we exit the building, when you exit this room, I want you all to look out to your left as you leave the room. That is where the games will be played.
All of them?
All of the games will be played on that floor, in that gymnasium, in this arena. We want to fill it up. We want it to sell out. We want it to be standing room only. So as you are leaving this room and going back to your various communities, your various churches, your various organizations, take a look at that room. Imagine that room filled with HBCU basketball. Imagine that room being filled with students who want to attend HBCU colleges and universities. Imagine that room being filled with seeing minority professionals running in athletic competitions such as this. I want you to really see the room. That is where those games will be played. That is the dream, that is the mission of BCSG. That is what we're here to do. We thank you. We welcome you. I know we've been told they want to do a group shot.
Yeah, I need one for the next thing.
Okay. And there are also photo opportunities by the Step and Repeat right outside, which we're going to do. You want to do those out there? Okay. So we're going to do our group shot first. Mr. Liberty, if you can make yourself available for a few other quick group shots. If there are no more questions, we say thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm the CEO of Books Over Balls, Reading Fellows. And every year we do an annual showcase for unsigned seniors. So I'd like to see who I can contact, because we do a showcase and we love to be participating with the HBCUs when we do the college unsigned seniors. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. We're doing a showcase all over the city. It's called Books Over Balls, Academics First.
Appreciate it. Okay, we got you covered. Again, thank you so much for coming. We thank you so much for coming. We thank you so much for coming. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you to the sound and to the cameraman. Thank you all.